Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Dad Does Videos. Coming at you today from my basement where I'm going to show you how to change your ceiling vent. And why you'd want to change your ceiling vent, well, there could be a variety of different reasons, but for me, this one has been installed for about 20 years. It came with the house. It's old, it's gunky, it's chipped. So I figured, let me spend the 13, 14 bucks at Lowe's, and you could get them at Home Depot or any kind of hardware store, but spend that money, just do a quick upgrade, and it really isn't that hard to fix. So first things first, you can't just look at your vent to see what size it is. You actually have to remove it, because the way that you're going to go into the store and make sure you pick up the right size vent is to measure the opening that is underneath your vent. So typically, you're going to go ahead and get your Phillips screwdriver. I am going to use a drill to unscrew the screws that are in my vent, and there's one right here and one right here. So after I take this down, we'll take a look at the hole that is there and we'll measure it. And those are the measurements you'll want to use to purchase a new vent. All right, so I have my vent down, and this is what I'm left with. You should have something similar looking. You could see a little bit of the paint came down off the ceiling. You'll just want to be careful when you're taking your vent down. Apparently mine was caulked to the ceiling and I had no idea. We'll fix that later, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do to then move forward to replace your vent. Okay, so what you'll want to do next is grab a tape measure and just measure the length and width of the opening that you have. So my short end is about 4 inches, maybe 4 1/4, and the long part is right around 12 inches. So I'm looking for kind of a 4 by 12 vent. And luckily, because I already did this and I cheated a little bit, we have one. As you can see here, this is one I picked up from Lowe's. It's 12 by 4. Your opening is not going to be perfect. It might be 11 3/4, it might be 12 1/4, it might be 9 3/4, it might be 10 1/4. It's an estimate. The short side might be a little bit shorter, might be a little bit longer than 4 inches, or maybe 6 inches. It depends what you have in your house. The key here is you want to write down what those measurements are and bring that piece of paper with you to the hardware store so then you can get the closest size. So your new vent, and mine right here, should come with a specific set of screws as well. So you're going to use these in place of the ones that we took down from each side of our vent. And don't worry if after you bought your new vent, you're maybe laying it right next to your old one and thinking, oh my gosh, this is a little bit bigger. It could be. The borders might be a little bit bigger. There might be a little extra metal involved, and that's not a big deal. Actually, my new vent is slightly bigger than my old vent. I'm not sure if you can tell the difference on there or not. You can see probably right there that it is, the old vent on top is not as wide as the one on the bottom. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because what matters is the size of the vent on the bottom and the hole right there. Now, if you get lucky and your vents are exactly the same size externally, that is, then your holes for the screws should line up perfectly from your old vent. Now, oftentimes this isn't the case. It adds a little bit of an extra step to your vent installation, but it's really not that big of a deal, especially if you have a drill and you have a drill bit set. I like this one. I picked this up at Home Depot. It's a Ryobi. I think it was like 10 or 11 bucks. I just grabbed the right size out of here, drill a pilot hole, so to speak, and then the screw fits right in. Okay, so this is the drill bit I'm going to use to drill my pilot holes. This is a 1/8 drill bit, and this is the screw I'm going to be using that came with the new vent. And the way that I made sure I was using the right size is just put these up against each other, and you could see right on the sides, you could see my screw, like the ridges right in back of the drill bit, and that lets me know that my screw is slightly wider than the actual drill bit. And that's what I want. I want the drill bit to be slightly narrower so that when I screw this screw in, it catches, but the drill bit is making enough room for it to go ahead and go through there. So what I'm going to do is hold my vent up to the hole and then drill using the drill bit where my holes are going to go. Okay, so I've slid my vent in exactly where I want it, and there shouldn't be too much wiggle room. So when you push your vent up there, it should fit pretty snugly, and I'm just going to drill my 2 pilot holes right where the holes are for the screws. There's one. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, this will make your screws going in a lot easier. Okay, so go ahead and get your screws that came with the vent, and we are going to put those in. Okay, so just make sure your vent is in place, and one in. Then get your other screw. And you're good to go. And of course, you can use this handle on the side to adjust how open or closed you want your vent to be. Thanks for watching.